thank you all for such a warm welcome here today. His Majesty has said that history is thankful and finally beginning to accord a rightful place to those men and women of the Windrush generation. It is, His Majesty believes, crucially important that we should truly see and hear these pioneers who stepped off the Empire Windrush at Tilbury in June 1948, only a few months before His Majesty was born, and those who followed over the decades to recognise and celebrate the immeasurable difference that they, their children, and their grandchildren have made to this country. His Majesty says those pioneers who arrived in a land they had learned about from afar left behind all that was familiar to them. Once in Britain, they worked hard, offering their skills to rebuild a country during peacetime and seeking opportunities to forge a better future for themselves and their families. When they arrived on our shores with little more than they were able to carry, few could hardly have imagined then how they and those that followed them would make such a profound and permanent contribution to British life. His Majesty's words are a fantastic recognition of the Windrush generation and the significance of these celebrations. And for me, as the son of a man who came as a boy from Montserrat, it is wonderful to hear our King share so passionately his support for the Windrush generation and, so importantly, the generations that have come after. I am proud of my mixed heritage, and whilst a child, I was made to feel my curly hair and colour of my skin was something to be ashamed of. I was made to feel that being black was a bad thing, and there was no one around me or in the media that said otherwise. I am thankful that as I've learned more about my heritage, our heritage, that my pride of that side of what makes me, me, just grows and grows. I was proud too when the Lord Lieutenant, His Majesty's representative in Greater London, commissioned me to be his representative in the London Borough of Lambeth and to be a Deputy Lieutenant for Greater London. It is ironic that as my skin lightens with age, and as you can see, my curly hair has disappeared, so many assume now that I am white, that I should now more and more gain so much pride of my Caribbean and my African heritage. And for me, Black History Month is so important. So all our black, brown, and mixed young people can never be seconded, as for generations we have been made to feel we are. As we celebrate Windrush, let us never forget those who did not make that journey on Windrush when they were stolen from Africa, when they died in the ships that carried them to the West Indies, or worked to death in the fields of the Caribbean. Let's remember those who served this country, ignored for so long in the history books, which claimed that Britain stood alone against the Nazis, when so many from the Caribbean and across the Commonwealth joined the fight for the freedoms we enjoy here today. Let us make sure that the story of their sacrifice is never forgotten, that it lives on in our children's memory, and that our children will stand tall on the shoulders of all those who, despite all that was done to them, they fought, they refused to be downtrodden, they built their lives, and they rebuilt this country. As His Majesty has said, today, let's recognize and celebrate the immeasurable difference that the Windrush generation has made this and every Windrush Day.